how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It is another very, very warm day where the sweat is just going to pour off of me. I swear, I think it should be illegal, the amount that I sweat. I don't know if there's a law in the books like that, but somebody should make one. So today I thought I would talk about some palettes and a couple of other makeup products that I got on sale. Most of them I did get from Sephora, but there are some other products as well that from different sites. These are items that I really, really wanted, but was not willing to pay full price for them. Therefore, I'm really happy that I got them on sale. None of these are new products, but they are new to me. Did I need new palettes? No. Am I eventually going to go through my collection and probably pass on some of the stuff that maybe no longer excites me? Yes. When will that happen? I don't know. Today we have Nugget Kitten and Baxi Kitten joining me. They're hanging out with their mama. So, I don't remember what sale it was in, but it's fairly recently, within the last month. Yeah, pretty much. Sephora had a bunch of these ABH palettes on sale. The one that I really wanted, which I think was volume 1 or 2. I don't know the numbers. No, this is volume 1. I have another one here. What is it? Oh, it was volume 3 that I wanted. That one was sold out immediately, but I was still able to get these. These are originally $60. I got them on sale for $30, and really glad that I did so. This one is purple. No matter what the color story, I had to get it because it's purple. I kind of like purple, just a little bit. I also purchased, not in this haul, but in a previous one for on sale. Now they're on sale for 14 bucks. I'm really mad because I paid 20, I think. But I have the mini palettes. I also don't have all of those as well because, again, one I was not interested in, one was sold out. I'm just going to shut up now and get into this palette that we're talking about. These are plastic, but they're nice and weighty. When you open her up, it is such a pretty color story. I have not played around with this a lot. I've done only maybe 1 or 2 looks, and there's many, many colors that I haven't used yet. Of course, you know I did make a purple look out of it because that was the whole reason for me getting the palette. A couple of these colors intrigued me. If you'll notice, this is kind of sectioned off just a little bit. You would think it's going to be an all purple palette, but it's really, really not. I'd say these 3 rows here where my fingers are really fall into the purple category. They're all cohesive and they all do go together. When you get to these 2 rows, they are really different and they stand out. Now this one especially looks to me like it is a matte with the glitter, and yes, it is. These shadows sometimes work well, sometimes don't. Forewarning, if you're bothered by it, I'm sorry, you may want to skip this video. I do not have a part of my hand or arms that don't have a scar on them. For those of whom that bothers, I apologize. I can't do much about it. Now this one actually went on quite nicely. You don't see too much of the sparkle, and sometimes when you blend these types of shadows away you do lose it, but I think that it's part of what makes the shadows slightly more blendable. But that swatched very nicely. As you can see, I haven't even touched that color yet. These palettes she did not come up with names for. She made it quite simple in that there are 5 rows labeled A through E, and then the numbers go across 1 through 5. So when you're trying to put together a look, it's kind of like playing bingo. A5, B3, bingo. So as I said, I'm still trying to figure out what types of looks I want to do with this, whether I can incorporate them into the purple looks. Of course there is a black, which I kind of think is necessary in every palette. Some people feel it's not, but this actually happens to be a very nice black. Not very powdery and not dry or dusty. Normally I shy away from the larger palettes because they could be intimidating or confusing. But for the most part, I've enjoyed at least what I've tried so far. I do want to try this red shadow, which is actually D3. Reds are very, very hard to create, especially matte ones. That swatched very nicely. I do not have any lotion on my hands. And you see those are very bright pigments. This B3 has been one that I've been grabbing each time that I've used this palette. It's a very pretty pinky purple. It's a very strong color. You are not going to create a shy look with that one. This is a more subtle one. It is A1. And I've been liking that for my inner corner, or sometimes just to throw on top of a mat as well. These are pigments and they are going to stain your eyes. It doesn't bother me. Some people may have a problem with it, or some may be allergic to some of the pigments, but for me personally it's okay. As you can see, my hand got just a little bit darker from the blue pigments. I have not tried this one yet, which is shocking. Now this one's a wee bit crumbly. It's like a purpley blue. It's such a pretty color. Okay, it was crumbling when I put my finger into it, but applying it as a swatch, it did not crumble or flake off. And that's really, really pretty. I like that one a lot. These palettes caused a lot of controversy because she released them. This is the Norvina Palette, the sub-brand, I guess, of ABH. And she dropped one palette after another, and people felt overwhelmed by the releases, yet they felt compelled to want to go out and buy them. And having 3 palettes like this at $6 a piece released at the same time, that's $180. Now, I got 2 of them, and I only spent $60, and that's way more reasonable. I'm curious if you guys were to create a look with this side, which, by the way, don't these colors have a little bit of a subculture vibe to them? A couple of them anyway, especially the mustard yellow. Very pretty. What do you think you guys would do to create a look with these 2 rows? Or maybe I should just do like a palette bingo with this and really see what I could come up with depending upon the colors that I get. What were your thoughts about this one, and do you own this one, and what's your experience with it? This was number 2. I forget what color story the third one is, but I believe that was the most popular. Again, beautiful packaging, very well done, very weighty, very heavy. This particular palette has many more mattes in it than the volume 1 does. Normally with her palettes, you can use quads to create different looks, and they usually work out well. With, say, her 14-pan palettes, I haven't tried that experiment with these yet. But if you'll notice, it's interesting because all of the greens are scattered all over the pan. In this one, you really, as I said, only have the 6 shimmers and or glitter or foiled shadows. That's the pink glitter, and that is the pink matte. They go very, very nicely together. What I do like about the shimmer and foiled shades that she chose was that they will go with at least 1 or 2 mattes that are in the palette. They're not just colors that are just sort of thrown in there. Like this is another one of them. I'm going to swatch them. Here are a couple of more. I'm missing one of the shimmer shades, which I'm going to swatch in a minute, but this one is one of my favorites. It's like a lilac color. It's very soft, but you can really use it to lighten up or brighten up some of the darker mattes. This one here, which again is C1, look at it on my finger. I don't know if you can appreciate the metallic foiledness of that, and that is this one. It's absolutely stunning. I haven't had that one on my eyes yet, and these are the rest, aside from that matte here, these are the rest of those shimmers. Even this yellow shimmer, it's just so pretty. For me, when I pick up this palette, it's not an easy one. I do have to put a little bit of thought into it, at least I do anyway. Basically trying to choose, unless I want to go simple and put like a brown matte or a purple matte and then a quick shimmer. But for me, I don't immediately go, oh, I know exactly what I want to do. It takes a little bit more of a thought process. And you're not going to get the most subtle looks out of this palette, which also may have been slightly off-putting for some people who like a lot of color options but maybe don't want to go this route. But for the $30, I thought that it was most definitely worth it. And the fact that both of these mirrors, I forgot to mention, again, I'm not showing you my background, they have amazing mirrors, and they also, for the most part, stand up like this, so they're angled towards you. So if you needed to do your makeup with this sitting on a counter, it's very, very feasible, and you can do your entire face in it. So that's definitely a bonus for me. I do want to try the consistency in the blacks across the palettes. Now this one, which in this palette is called E5, feels much drier to me than in the Volume 1 palette. And it also feels slightly more powdery on my hand. That's what I find interesting, that the same black shadow and two very similar palettes could feel so differently. Huda was also having an amazing sale as well. For some reason I thought I bought more. I don't think so. Isn't that sad? This is also a palette that I really wanted, but again was not willing to pay the $65 for. It is the Mercury Retrograde palette. Her packaging is absolutely stunning. This little holographic outside is just lovely as well. And the actual package itself, again, stunning, A+. Nice weighted plastic. This is slightly see-through, although you can't appreciate it. It's like a pink acrylic. Nugget is making little sleeping kitten sounds, by the way. These also have excellent mirrors, if that's something that's important to you, and honestly, sometimes it is important to me. At first I wasn't sure about this color story, although it looked so intriguing. I was like, meh, do I need it? But when it was on sale, that's when it really called to me. The only one that makes me question things is this green color. I'm not sure why it's there, because if you look at the rest of the color story, it is a plummy, purpley, bluish type, and then you've got this green stuck in here, which is called Haze. It's very pretty. I haven't used it yet, obviously. As I said, I haven't created many looks with any of these palettes as of yet. It's a beautiful color. I just don't know how I would compare it, how I would pair it with some of these shadows. This blue one called Mercury looks like a wet foiled shadow. This one here is called Nebula, and it has a little bit of a gritty texture. It is more of a glitter. I have used it. I have not used glitter glue, but I may try it with that, and it's just stunning. This one called Ultraviolet, which is here, acts more of a topper sometimes. It is not as intense as it looks in the pan. There you go. I like to throw this one on top of the mattes that I use, and I have actually put it right on top of this one here, which is called Libra. And it does look pretty. The Supermoon, you can actually practically put your finger in and it just melts. It's amazing, but it's also really just a topper. You can see it there. That one is called, oh my goodness, I'm running out of hand. This one here is called Gold Glitch. Hopefully I'll be able to zoom in editing so you can get a good close-up of it. That one is definitely more like a shadow that melts into the skin rather than just sits on top. I have her new Nudes palette, and in that one they included that primer. Most of the time I honestly forget that it's there, so I don't reach for it too often, which is kind of annoying because it's a really nice primer for your eyes actually. But I am very happy to have this in my collection. I'm just really happy that I didn't pay the $65 for it, because this is a lot of money. And the good thing about this one is you can create some nice subtle looks. You have beautiful base and transition colors, so that if you are a person who wants to save the bolder looks for the weekend or whatever, you can use this as your daily palette and just have a pretty subtle look, or you can make it more dramatic. So I'm glad I got it on sale. Let's take a break for a moment from the shadows and talk about another item that I picked up. It's a makeup item, but it's not a shadow. And it's a perfect time for me to use that since I just wiped all of the makeup off of my hands. I was able to get the KKW Skin Perfecting Body Foundation on sale, and to get the free shipping I also ordered one of her lip liners. I've never tried any of her lip products, but I heard that they are very nice, and because she does so many nudes, they're definitely right up my alley. I don't need lip products right now because I can't wear them. I have tried this. I'm on I'm on the fence. It's a little too, no, it's a lot too dark. And I have to use a lightening medium, not lightning, lightening. You know what I mean. I should have ordered the next one up, and when she has another sale, maybe I will, or maybe I'll just get another and try to mix it, etc. I've used it on my legs, and again, it doesn't cover everything. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to layer it on here. This is one layer. It's very smooth and it doesn't feel drying. Ignore the fact that it's too dark, but I can still see my scars on my hand. You know, if I wanted to use this for any type of spot correction, I couldn't. When I use it on my legs are even lighter than my hands. If I put it all over, then my whole leg just looks tan. But again, it's not covering up the spots. It's just basically smoothing things out and giving an overall blurred appearance. But I'm really looking for something to cover up scars. With all of these types of makeup products, there usually is a very specific process that you should do to get the proper coverage and waterproofing ability out of it. I haven't tried it in that aspect, but that's what it looks. You can see it's very orange on my hand. But ignore the color and look at the coverage and how it makes my hand look. It does appear to have a bit of a sheen to it, which I also did notice when I used it on my legs. And by the way, I'll just tell you what I just did. I had this on my knee, and I leaned and I almost squirted it all over the door next to me. That wouldn't have been good. As we're sitting here, I'm going to let this dry down on my hand and then come back to it to discuss. This was $45, not inexpensive, so to snag it not only on sale but in a color, well, that I thought was mine anyway, was something that I was looking forward to. Too bad I got the wrong one. By the way, let me tell you what color it is. This one was in light medium. Now, light medium is definitely my foundation shade. It's definitely not my body shade by any means. I haven't even tried this yet, mostly because when I go out, I don't put on lipstick or lip pencils or anything else. But again, this is the KKW, one of her liners, and it is in the color, well, very aptly named Nude 1. It is not a roll-up. You do have to sharpen it, but this is plastic. I don't always like those. It feels very creamy. That's really pretty. It's nice and neutral. Okay, I can't tell too much because I already have the Marc Jacobs gloss on, but it felt nice going on my hand. I definitely think I'm going to like the color. My lip colors can't be too warm or too cool. Cool tones definitely don't look good on me. It's very hard for me to get a lip color that you like, and that I like, not that you like, but that I like. And if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know the struggles I have there. Okay, let's go over the next palette. I did mention that I was wearing this in one of my videos when I created a red look. This is the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. Again, the only reason I bought it was because it was half off. This was originally $39 and I paid $19.50 for it. This was the look I was going for, and I didn't have the patience to be blending out that black, so I only went halfway with it and got a half black and red look. I do not own her Volume 1 palette, and I'm not going to actually purchase it because I have heard that the formula has completely changed and is no longer the palette that everyone had raved that it was. Also, that color story didn't thrill me so much, but this one most certainly did. It does not have a mirror, neither did her other, but this color story most definitely was up my alley, and I was very curious to try it. Wasn't willing to pay the $39 for it, but the $19.50, absolutely. I've only done 2 looks with it. That day I was wearing this color here. It is called Livin' My Best, and it is one of those shadows, again, a matte shadow that has the glitters in it. It is powdery. Oh, look how yellow my hand looks. That looks so ridiculous. But this is a shadow that you have to pack on carefully and then very carefully blend out the edges that you want, because it's an intense color and it can kind of get away from you if you're not careful with it. The glitter didn't translate in the final look. Of course, you know I did get it for the purples as well, but first time trying it, I really wanted to go for the red looks. And you can create a lot of reddish orange looks with this, so. This is like that duochrome. It looks white in the pan, but it's got like that pinky shift to it. And this gold one is called Talia. I'm going to swatch Empowered and Crazy because they're also really pretty colors. The Crazy is a beautiful color, but again, powdery is all heck, I gotta tell you. You will get it all over your face if you're not careful. And this one is so pretty. That's called Empowered. It's a very nice palette. I don't know if I would have been happy paying the basically $40 for it. I'm happy I have it. I'm going to have fun playing with it and creating looks. But as with the James Charles palette, it's still Morphe. And I think they overcharge for it because they have to give the commissions to the influencer that they're collabing with. So I like it, but very happy that I paid, you know, the 20 bucks for it. All right, I'm going to wipe this off and see how that makeup holds up. I'm not going to rub hard or anything though. Yeah, no, that basically came off. I don't know what to do, people. It's like when you're trying to cover scars on your hands and you wash your hands all the time and you don't have the waterproof makeup on, it comes off all the time anyway. Is it a losing battle? Should I care? I don't know. You let me know. I'm telling you, if you do like the color story if it goes on sale again for the 20 bucks, absolutely like worth it from what I have experienced of it so far. So, okay, this last one. I mentioned the Hummingbird powder that I bought from Chantecaille. Chantecaille was having a 30% off sale recently. I'm using up that Hummingbird powder. As I said, wait, you haven't seen that? Yes, you have seen the video. It's nice, but it's not an $80 powder. Granted, they donate to wildlife funds, etc., but still not an $80 powder. So what did I do? I went out and bought the Hummingbird palette. This is the Quartet Warm. The packaging, beautiful. Who doesn't like hummingbirds? They're freaking adorable. Again, it has that same like plasticky rubberized top to it. This kind of reminds me of the top on the Trolls Pure palettes, but this is a little bit less sticky, if that makes any sense. Again, it has the reflective back here. Chantecaille on the front. I think it should have a little bit more of a luxurious opening. It does click close. I think magnetized would have been nicer. It has a very nice mirror that you could use in a pinch, but look at the size of the shadows. And I will tell you, I am wearing it now. It's very easy to create a look because you only have one matte, one light shimmer. What I mean by light is its degree of intenseness of the shimmers. These two are much more intense. This blue is what is on my eyelid. This gold is what's in the inner third of my eye. And then this one is kind of in my crease, but I didn't bring it up all the way past my crease. That's mostly this brown. You only get this whole package, this whole palette. I think was $80 also, but again, I got the 30% off, or maybe this was even $90. I'm going to confirm that on the screen. This is 2 grams in total of product. That means that each one of the shadows is half a gram each. ABH usually includes about 0.85 grams. A good amount of shadow to get is usually about 1.25 to 1.35 grams. The palette I just ordered, the Wayne Goss, I believe has over 2 grams of product in each pan. So once I figure out what the price was when I look it up, I'm going to put on the screen how much per gram these shadows were. And I will tell you what, I had it on for about 4 hours, and remember, it is hot and sweaty, but I wasn't like dripping sweat, but you know, the normal amount of sweat that pours off of me. I can say that without primer, the blue shadow on my lid did crease. So I'm going to, today was the first day I actually tried it on my eyeballs. The color story is beautiful. I think they look beautiful. They're subtle, not over the top, but if it fades after just a couple of hours, I'm going to be curious to see how it performs. I'm going to wear it tomorrow for like, full 8 hours and see how it performs throughout the day. Am I glad I have it? Yes. Am I most definitely glad I paid 30% off? Oh yeah. It's definitely not a product that is so fantastic that you have to run out and get it. For me, occasionally I like to have that little bougie item. That's like me wanting the La Mer foundation that's over $100, or the La Mer powder that's $100. Those are just luxury bougie items, kind of like equivalent to saying, I'm saving up for that Coach purse that I wanted, or a Louis Vuitton purse, or something to that effect. That's how I view these. I don't think they're necessarily worth the price. So my friends, that is my makeup that I am so glad that I got on sale. Have you guys done any shopping lately? Are there any products that you were eyeing and spying and it went on sale and you're like, yep, all mine? I would love to hear your thoughts on, well, anything that you want to tell me, because that's what I look forward to most of the day. I want to thank you guys again. If you're new here, hello, hi, how are you? Thank you. I hope that you want to become part of this family, and if you do, there's a little subscribe button that you can click, and it would make me really, really happy. For everyone else, I'm already grateful that you are here as always. I love you tremendously. Please stay healthy and well, my friends. And of course, whatever part of the world you're in and around, I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week coming up. And I'll see you really soon in my next video. Bye. It is a Mercury. Mercury. But Eve, as with, I should say, Eve, whoa.